Welcome back, lords and ladies, to another Strong Arms and Swift Steel number 2 Hotseat. Alright, so our greatest fears have come to light. Stannis has besieged my lovely little army, and it's not gonna survive because, as I told you guys last time, even if we had this army in play, eh. I mean, if it was a good general inside, maybe. Like, say if Kevin was in there, then we'd have a chance, but not really. But either way, we have a candidate for adoption. We'll steal him away. He's got crummy loyalty, but he's an attacker, and he's a night fighter. And he's got marks of war, so he's got some extra hit points. Besides, he's actually 4,800, but if you take him out, Tywin makes about 140 more, which during my test playing I thought Tywin made about 130, so you know it's actually he makes 133 exactly, so yeah, I was close. I was really close. But anyways, taking Tywin, and he's gonna be marching on River Run. Yeah, shut up, Tywin. I love you, but shut up. At the same time, the original plan was to put a fort there, but apparently that put me over the limit, and that would put me at 10. And I knew this, but with Stannis besieging the other fort, I thought, you know, it'll be 9 because all the men will die in there and it won't be my fort anymore. Well, it turns out you have to comply with the Hotseat rules by, you know, ending your turn with 9 forts instead of 10, and even though you know one's gonna die, so that's kind of changes things. So one of my stacks was supposed to stay in Stonehenge, one was supposed to run down this way, something like that. So then, why do you think you can go around that? You can't. So Clegane, who's got logistics expert, and he's got 20 hit points. I love the fact that he does. We'd be leaving this guy. That would have been the original strategy. And even in here, you could go bloop and still be in range. Bloop. If we had him, then we probably would have put him on the corner. Toss men to the corner of this one, because it would have been right there. Corner. 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 That is, if this army was strong enough to defeat anything. And if it was just one stack, yes, but if they put both stack here and a stack there to challenge me, then it would have been coin toss, but they wouldn't have tried it because they would have been afraid of losing, because if they lost both, then I could just take River Run and destroy them, which would be great. It would be really, really, really great. I mean, the only way they could do it was if they besieged that. Then they would have had to go around like so to attack that force. But that's all hypothetical and it won't happen. What will happen is we will... Actually, it was to take this guy and run him up to bribe this fort so we could besiege that one, but then that was a stupid idea. So I came up with this one because Rob's authority has not changed since the beginning of the Hotseat, and it's a good thing. He's got 7 authority, and with this diplomat, any kind of diplomat's abilities except for like a bribing percentage chance, because I didn't get any in playtesting or, excuse me, like right now. So he's just in range to get it done next turn. We'll bribe this one for 10,000 gold exactly. Then what I'll end up doing is I tossed him forward 2 spaces, grabbed all these men, grabbed him. So the idea is take this unit, this unit, this unit, this unit. All those guys would make the fort. and then we take all 5 of these units and add them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to Marbrand's army. He would just be in range. Whether I want him to besiege or not is on entire new. It's a new story. But if we have this fort, then that only makes it so they can reinforce with 1 army, which is how we've been holding this damn river crossing for the longest time. So it just depends if Marbrand has enough troops or not. But yes, we'll be moving Tywin in anticipation of this because we'll want 3 armies on River Run if we're, if we're supposed to take it. I would laugh if I took this fort and he leaves it there fully garrisoned. It's like, okay, I get it. I get you want to hold it, but at the same time, if you know you're gonna lose it, don't fight. Just run away. Either way. So we'll be doing that, and yeah, that looks hopeless. I haven't seen any Renly yet, so I really hope he doesn't show up. Take that, except without 1 loss. Actually got him a command star for it, but that's pretty much the preface. I'll show you guys the rest at the end, and I'll see you in a second just for that. Alright, so here we are. I forgot to mention we have Roger Carlyle's back, so I moved Leo Lefford in place, and my ship will be done next turn. And he won't be taking it this turn, so... Wait, does he have ladders? No, he's got a ram. So, yeah. Unless he, unless the admin lied to me and said, yeah, I'm just going to take it, blip. That would be so mean, but I don't think he's going to. Also, their ships have moved back. So they're out of range, or no, they're just 1 tile away from besieging the port. But they're still on board with their ships. I left Craykall here, so he's just in range of Old Oak, but I don't have any plans to attack it next turn. Those reinforcements in the trees ran over there. I left Davin right there. Pretty sure you don't have any... Nope, he's just got Loyal Beyond Question, which is pretty darn helpful. And you got 1 star of attack or command and +2 to hit points. Left him there because he'd give us a little bit more money. And I want most of the army with us. Plan is to attack Golden Grove. And so you guys can see. Loras Tyrell is here, Baelor, Hightower, and Mathis Rowan. Now, Hightower is just out of range, and Rowan is just barely in range to attack us, but he's got the worst, the worst army here, so he's not going to do anything. So, I looked at Loras when testing, and he has Driven, which gives him plus 20% to movement range. And then I looked at Balin and I go, he's only got Energetic, right? Yeah, he kind of understands logistics along the way sometimes, so I'm glad I've been moving my generals. Like, you know how I can't show you guys with them, because that's because I've been moving them to their fullest extent, so then they possibly understands logistics. It'd be better if I was a Stark player, because then I have the chance to get the Hardy Drillmaster ancillary, which is kind of bullshit, because, they shouldn't, just one faction shouldn't be able to just get that. That's kind of unfair. And in the tournament, as I was playing as Lannister, Stark got that. I was like, are you serious? Plus Stark had units, equal to Armored Spearmen, except they had effective against armor, which makes these guys very similar. This is a good point, because if they have one chevron of attack, upon attack, or I mean, I don't even know if these guys are equal. Because effective against armor might add like another 2 to defense or something, because then they could cut through a unit of armored spearmen. I don't know. I'll do some testing, because what I'll have is just this army attacking this, you know, essentially, and Marbrand's men. And I know Marbrand's men aren't exactly perfect, but if we throw all these guys, you know, assuming they're better, I take out those two because I want the guy with 20 hit points and the guy with 11 hit points to, you know, do the deed and kick Stark in the kahunas, whatever. So yeah, I just wish Tywin was one more turn closer, because then I would do it so quickly that they wouldn't be able to, you know, retract from this, and then I wouldn't have to hold both of these forts. But I don't really have 3 stacks worth of troops. It'll be nice though when we only have 1 natural fort versus 4. At one point I'll have to hold 4 of them, just because. That's possible. Actually, what I could do is if... no, actually that's silly, because if I left this fort unattended, then they would just capture it and be a pain in my ass still, so. We'll have to hope they don't put another general in there, and if they don't, or if they put one in here, that'd be spectacular. It's like, hey, go for it. Actually, yeah, it would be okay, because then I could just toss Marbrand there. They would have to attack, and I could just leave Clegane sitting there. Kind of like the Bolton. Not Ramsay, Roose. Master Roose Bolton. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Just like, exactly like that, except with Sandor and... No. The Clegane bros, pretty much. So, yes. Also, move just a tiny bit down. Tiny bit. But I had to choose between this fort and this fort at the river crossing, and it's definitely got to be this fort, because then I can keep pushing these guys back. Now, if somehow I could instigate like an attack, like if I lose King's Landing, which is where I plan on getting most of my money for the bribing ransom. So also I'll get another 3,000 from that, so that'll be pretty close to 9,000, and then I'll just burn that, then I'll have 10,000, bribe that puppy, and that'll be square. It just depends on what Stannis does, because I also have plenty more buildings to, you know, maybe fort back over this way, because I only need 1 fort over here, so I could just completely shield this entire area. I just need to know what Stannis is planning. Captain, tell me your secrets! But that is pretty much all I have for you guys today. We're just trying to gauge what Renly's going to do, what Stannis is going to do next. If he goes for Maidenpool, then I moved a few more units in range. And I recruited as many men as I could. I only recruited 2 units this turn, 1 there and 1 there. All for Stannis. All for Stannis the Menace. Same thing with Stark. If he just doesn't put generals here, that'd be great. So yeah. Oh, it's a good thing we can destroy buildings in this hot seat. If we could not, I would be kind of royally screwed. So I'm going to leave this one actually, because this is a good defensive line. If I have a port here with a ship, then that blocks any possibility of a sea landing. And then this naturally blocks right there. So then this would be a really good spot. Yeah. And then I just have a fort right there, which would block this entire choke point with just 1 fort. So yes, I could essentially fall back from this point, but that would lose me all of my ships, which would give me a lot more income, which I wouldn't mind. But it would really hurt me in the long run, because I need to build up more ships to go and attack. You know, if I... At the same time, I don't have enough money. I keep investing in ground troops. because that's where I'm lacking. Also, I moved troops to be more in range because these guys are all the way in range of that. Also, he's in range of Raj Base, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Everybody's done. We're good. Passing on to Renly, and there you go. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you in turn 13, and hopefully Gimli makes a mistake. Oh, by the way, Gimli is now playing as Renly, and Stark is still open. Mato was supposed to take it, and then he kind of didn't show up. And Cap and I are the only two who've been here as players. Otherwise, Belthasar Bolton is still here as the admin, so we are the three musketeers who have stayed the whole time. I'll see you guys next time. Very nice.